What up guys, as promised we have a review today, and as mentioned in the last one, today we'll be looking at Old Dude's styling treatment. So this is very different from what we looked at before. I mean, the other Old Dude's review we looked at the matte paste, which is kind of like a texturizing kind of paste with good hold, very lightweight, and just really easy to style with and kind of very unique. Now with the styling treatment, what we're expecting is some sort of more kind of medium hold, leave-in conditioner-esque, water-based, kind of natural looking thing. And so what we're kind of talking about and kind of with the characteristics is like a medium hold, very lightweight, with very good control, but really kind of held back on that hold such that like you are pushed to a more, I guess, calm, natural type of style. But this is going to be very interesting, so we'll start off of course by looking at the jar. So these ones have been like a new introduction to the Old Dude's line. The matte paste, the styling treatment, and their standard pomade. And so you get a cool ass like metallic label, limited edition like batch number 1 label, which in all honesty, Old Dudes has some like their stuff's beautiful. Like this is absolutely gorgeous. This typeface, like beautiful. And of course it says Old Dude's Apothecary, styling treatment, and just other information and labeling decal on the front. On the left side you then have ingredients and directions, and on the other side you just have a nice little graphic, but the label itself is something definitely worth just seeing in person. You have a very dark amber glass jar, 4 ounces. Opening it up, you see the product definitely has a different look than many of the other products. Has a glisten to it, looks a lot more like a lotion, and so we're expecting something pretty damn unique here. So this review is actually pretty like well timed, just because it's Sunday, and on Sundays I want like a relaxed product to work with, and this is perfect. So the scent is officially cedar citrus again, similar to the matte paste. I definitely feel a lot more cedar with this one, but of course there will be variances between batches and products, even if the intention is the same. But who knows whether Old Dudes or Clayton rather actually intended it to be exactly the same. But last time I mentioned it's really reminiscent of the lumber department at Home Depot. But another thing reminded me, it like smells like pencil shavings. Like back then when people still used wooden pencils, and a lot of them were made out of cedar, or at least the ones I used were, and so they had a very distinct smell when you shaved them. And it's really reminiscent of that, so it's like a big throwback. Anyways, so scooping it out, this thing is straight up a lotion, like completely. So it's all actually, the best description of it is yogurt. Not Greek yogurt, like regular yogurt. So it's like really light to work with. Feels pretty cool. Now, if it could even provide a medium hold, this would be some crazy like kind of consistency to strength, I guess, ratio comparison. I mean, we've seen something similar in Ace High Company's original pomade, which was a fantastic example of how strong you can get a product while still making it like very much like a lotion. And we're seeing a similar consistency here, even to a more extreme extent, where this thing is straight up feels like lotion or yogurt. Even has a slightly off like white tint reminiscent of lotion, and well, more like yogurt. But yeah, so we'll go ahead, just leave it at 3 scoops for now. If we need more, we'll just add it later on. It's just, this is a pretty out of the ordinary product, so we're not really sure exactly how much product we're going to need. But similarly, like anything else, we'll go ahead and comb it back after it's all applied. The feel of combing it through is actually very interesting. I mean, it's like comparing between like a paint, like a gloss, a satin, and a matte finish paint. Like a gloss is just Like, I mean, it's your standard smooth glossy paint. I mean, if you comb through, it's just like smooth effortlessly. It's like lubricated. It's kind of like the Lockhart's grooming cream. Then there is a matte finish, kind of like a lot more grittier, like a light clay where like you comb through, you feel like this like you're going through like sand or you're going through actual like clay grit particles. Now this one's more like a satin in between where it's like you feel some sort of like weird, not grittiness is a bad way to describe it because it pushes it too far along the spectrum, but something similar where you just feel like you're combing through something. It's like very subtly like satisfying. But anyways, go ahead, start styling. So we'll go ahead and call it done here. And I mean, what we see is something that's actually like, I mean, pretty cool and convenient. I definitely see the use case for this product. I mean, what you get is like a well-shaped medium to like slightly below average height pomp with like a low medium weight. So what I'm saying is, in all honesty, if this was outside the review, all I would really use this for is like a pump something slightly lower than this, or just like a loose slick back, just because I mean it's perfect for that, and it's clean, it feels great, it feels good, and this is something I would use over almost everything else for my normal day at work. Because I mean, when I go to work, I'm not trying to impress anyone with my hair at all. Like, I don't care. I mean, I'm an engineer, so I'm basically running around like either at the computer designing stuff or in the shop like milling and lathing stuff. And so my last concern is really how my hair looks. I would just want something to keep it like out of the way and just keep it professional to some extent. And so this is literally perfect just because it feels very nice. My hair feels good, and it just feels very clean. That's like the biggest thing that I was expecting and really wanting out of this product called Styling Treatment. Um, Kind of going back through the list at least though, consistency, straight up lotion application, very easy, but has this kind of cool subtle like satin grittiness. Shine, I would say it's actually just a slight tad above neutral, so like barely. I would honestly expect that to go away throughout the day just by the look of it, but we'll talk about that in a few hours. The slickness or like the texture, I would actually say it's an interesting balancing between the two. I feel like there are elements that are pushing towards the texture at the same time. The same elements that added the shine really keep things like feeling good. It also adds a little bit of stickiness, kind of balancing between the two. Which, how I personally I think that's how any sort of clay or product should work, is to actually have both elements and balance between the two. For the strength, I would definitely say a medium, or slightly below a medium. This is not at all a strong hold, or a really like solid whole product. In a way, you'll definitely need to enjoy the naturalness of your hair and the way it wants to flow. And so going to the control aspect of this pomade, it's very, what's a good word for it? It's, once again, it's another balancing game where you are encouraged to style a general shape, but you need to be able to enjoy the natural characteristics of your hair. Because I mean, the idea of this product is to really allow you to have like a natural hold and natural styling like to your hair, and you need to be able to enjoy that in order to enjoy this product. But yeah, so we'll see how well it performs throughout the day, and we'll be back in a few hours. Okay, so we're at the end of the day, and I need to conclude this review so I can go ahead and go meal prep for the week. This is what it looks like at the end of the day. So as expected, it kind of got like messy because this is kind of like a styling treatment that really allows your hair to just kind of go full natural. You style something to the best of your abilities, you get like a nice natural pop, and you expect it to kind of just go its own way throughout the day, and that's its own aesthetic. But it did end up, I would say, a little greasier than expected. It was pretty hot today, and I mentioned before I kind of went out through my day that kind of expected the shine to go away, and it definitely didn't. So it stayed like a tad above neutral, and rather than get drier or stay with a kind of like a dry effect, it kind of got very like leave-in conditioner-esque. It kind of got a little more moisturizer-esque, kind of a little greasier in a way. And so I'm not saying it's like greasy like an oil base at all, but for like a water base, for kind of a styling treatment of this type, it did kind of make your hair feel a little oily, healthy in a way, but a little oily. Restyling it, as you can see, it's essentially, you can finger comb it back into a loose slick back, which is what I had when I first came into this later section of the review. Combing it back up into a pomp, you may find it to be a little difficult. I would say this isn't something you would expect to do with styling treatment. You're supposed to kind of really enjoy the looseness, the naturalness of the product, rather than style like another clean pomp. You do lose a bit of the volume, and so you retain a majority of it, but a majority of a product that did not have much hold to begin with. So it's medium low, now it's kind of like a light low type of thing. Let's see what else I want to mention. Washing it out, super easy, of course. And kind of in general, like, in conclusion, I guess, the best use of this pomade is to really just kind of like be a relaxing day, or kind of using it in a kind of environment or scenario where you don't need a super clean slick pomp, or you don't want a super clean slick pomp. At the same time, you don't want a super texturizing clay that is difficult to just finger comb and difficult to maintain. You're okay with like a looseness. You have the confidence to carry around just like a kind of relaxed hairdo. And so I still feel like this is something I would definitely use on my work days, in regards to kind of like when I'm like at work, sitting at a desk or in the shop, where I just want my hair to stay out of my face and I need to just look okay. I can't maintain it perfectly, but I want it to look okay even if it gets messed up, and I want to be okay in like kind of touching it up with my fingers. And so that's probably the best use case scenario, and that's my best use case scenario for it. I do wish it was a little drier. I would prefer if it was a little more matte and kind of like dry in a way, so that greasiness feel, even though it does make my hair feel really good, and if you care about that, like, that's awesome, and this is a really good fit for you. But I don't mind the dryness when it, in like regards to getting like a nice matte, just super clean feel. But yeah, but it is cool. It is different from many of the other things we see. We've seen other oil-based ones like this, but we've yet to see a water-based thing like this, so that's cool. And so yeah, if you guys are interested in the Old Dudes styling treatment, we do offer a promo code, the Pomp, all caps. Save you a little bit of money if you guys are going to order this, as long as you guys buy direct and support Old Dudes. And so, yeah. See you guys again next week for some more reviews. We're on a streak right now. We're going to try to keep that going. And so, peace out.